So I've got a couple of free selections for the late Tuesday card. Lakers Thunder, UT Arlington, Gonzaga coming up in a minute. But a quick story that relates to what happened to me last night when I lost a play involving the Phoenix Suns against the Boston Celtics. So back in the middle 90s, I had already transitioned into the gambling industry. I had left my job a couple of years earlier where I had been the managing editor of a national sports wire service. I had also gotten finished doing a stint as a host of a national sports talk show centered on gambling. And I was gambling, of course, every single day. Nothing new there, right? And there was a sports wire service that was still in existence that was providing injuries for your games. And I knew the guy that was doing the work for them, and he was just doing a lousy job. So I called this wire service one day, and I updated them with some injuries. And I told them, I said, you've got to do a better job updating the injuries because, you just were missing so many critical injuries day in, day out. And they said, jokingly, do you think you can do a better job? And I said, hell yeah, I can do a better job because I knew the clown that was doing the job for you currently because he used to work for me in Philadelphia. So out of that joke and sarcastic remark led to them hiring me to replace the guy that they had. So I, for a 7 or 8 year period it was, became the guy that provided all the injuries and controlled the entire injury business, shall we say, for all the sports books and the odds makers in Vegas and those that were then starting to pop up offshore in the mid to late 90s. And remember, this was before the internet, but I had all types of connections because I had been a reporter. I had just come off a stint of having my own nationwide sports talk show. So to be able to call up teams, to be able to get injury information, it was a piece of cake because I had just recently transitioned out of the media into the gambling industry, but most people weren't really aware of that. So I had contacts and I was able to get the information. And people didn't realize how important the injury information was even back then that I was gathering. So all the sports, even including hockey, I was getting and I was providing to this wire service that was then disseminating it out there. And listen, I treated that information like gold because I realized the value and the importance of it, not only for me, but to all of you out there that were gamblers as well. And I realized the significance of it when it came to moving lines. Now, fast forward, yesterday. There were 3 games I liked. The 2 best games on the board yesterday happened to be the Phoenix Suns and UCLA. I opted to go with the Phoenix Suns. Unfortunately, one of these things about gambling, there are no guarantees. An hour before tip-off last night, the Suns announced that Ricky Rubio would not be playing. Ricky Rubio, the starting point guard, who has had a tremendous season in his first with the Suns. I never would have bet the Suns last night, never would have released the Suns as a top-rated 15-time release if I had known Rubio, a guy who had 3 triple-doubles in his 5 previous games and really was the guy that gets that Suns offense going. If he wasn't going to play, obviously, wouldn't have used the game. So what happens? The Suns look so disjointed last night against the Celtics. A season low in points for Phoenix last night. And what are you going to do? I muttered my favorite 4-letter word repeatedly, and you shrug your shoulders and you move on because sometimes it happens. Because sometimes you just don't get the injury information soon enough. And those are the way the cookies crumble. And you move forward. But it just shows you how valuable injury information is. And I see now, even though we live in this internet age, how the guys that are out there gathering it, they just don't do that good of a job because they don't have a vested interest. When I was doing it, I had a vested interest because it was my money almost every single night betting it. But I think a lot of these organizations now, they just don't care. So, listen, the other thing is I wanted to announce today that I added another guy to the site. Kirby Maxwell is the newest handicapper to join the site on a full-time basis, so you might want to check his page out. You can read his biography, and he is another full-time handicapper, the third new guy that I've added to the site. So I wish him well and welcome to the site, and I hope that he has the success that the first two guys have certainly enjoyed, those being, of course, Mitchell Newman and Stephen D'Angelo, who are both tearing it up here at the site. So let's get to your complimentary plays now, since I'm a little late with today's report. First of all, in the NBA, I'm going to go with the Lakers at home, laying the 11 points against the Thunder. Listen, the Thunder are playing the second of back-to-back games on the road. Now, true, it's not like they're traveling, because they played at the Staples Center last night and lost in the final seconds to the Clippers, and now they're playing at the Staples Center tonight against the Lakers. But the Lakers are coming off 4 straight wins. Thunder losing that heartbreaker last night. The Lakers have been idle since taking care of business against an injury-riddled Atlanta Hawks team, 122-101 on Sunday. I just like the matchups here, and I think the Lakers roll and win easily, laying the 11 points. The other game, you see the price for Gonzaga has just skyrocketed. It opened up today at about 23. It's up to 24.5 to 25 points, but I see no reason not to lay it. College basketball non-conference games, it's the same thing that you have with college football non-conference games early in the season. You can't be afraid to lay the double digits with the better teams at home. And what has Gonzaga shown you so far? The ability to put teams away. This is not the team from a year ago that lost all that talent, just one starter back, but still a damn good Cougars team. Opened up the season with 3 straight blowout wins against Alabama State, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and North Dakota, scoring 95, 110, and 97 points. And you say, okay, well, show me what you got. Well, they showed you when they went to Texas A&M on Friday and absolutely destroyed Buzz Williams' team in College Station in that one. I mean, just whipped the hell out of A&M in that contest. Now they come back home and take on a Texas Arlington team that hung close and played a good defensive game on Sunday against Oregon, but still lost by 20 points, 67-47. They lost their previous game at Nevada Reno by 7 points, and the Wolfpack are a rebuilding team. This is not the Nevada team that had been so strong under Eric Musselman the previous 2 seasons. So I think that Gonzaga will be able to dominate the boards as they've done all season long. They're out rebounding their foes by a margin of nearly 18 boards a game. They're shooting the hell out of the ball so far. Number 1 in the nation in field goal percentage, hitting almost at a 57% clip. And hell, they're averaging like 95 points a game. You don't play this game any other way other than laying the points with Gonzaga. So the Lakers and Gonzaga are the 2 plays here for today. That'll do it, and talk to you again.